Why? Hey, everybody. It's another night here on the WebDM Twitch. It's another session of Starward Bound. We hope that you are doing great out there in Twitchlandia, wherever the portal that you are viewing us from is. Hopefully, you are out of the weather if you are in one of those areas that has experienced inclement weather. We're going to get around to our cast and crew, but first, I want to go ahead and talk about our sponsor for this evening. And as always, it's Tabletop Loot. Head on over to tabletoploot.com for all of your dice, mug, t-shirt needs. Use the code WebDM15 and you will get 15% off said dice, mugs, and t-shirts. It's a lot of fun stuff. Pretty much everybody on the cast tonight is going to be rolling with those dice. So anyway, give them some love. They give us love. Everybody has love. So let's go around to cast and crew, see how everybody's doing. Then we'll do a quick recap and jump right into the action. First off, Emma, it is good to have you back. The sun has not shone as brightly in your absence, and even though it is fall, it is warm on my face right now.
That is good. It is not warm in here. Oh, so I'll take all the heat I can take. Yes, I don't have a furnace for a week, and I live in Vermont, and it's October. Very cold. I'm so glad to be back. I'm sorry I had to miss the show, but I am back. I'm going to be muting myself, coughing a lot. But I'm so glad to be here and reprise Hildegard, who was in precious and wonderful hands. Thank you, Grant Alice, for playing her last week. I appreciated it so much. I'm so glad to be here, though. It's not a Tuesday if I'm not here with you fine folks. Yes.
Oh, I do agree. Next over, we're gonna move on over to Trey Murphy. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Yo, what is up? I'm happy that Emma's back. All these changes of voices is kind of messing with my head / Darkul's head. I'm already hearing voices to begin with, so I'm just happy that we got something steady kind of going on. In case you don't know, I play Darkul, the half-elf Kinsey monk that loves to smoke and paint and fight with his beloved sword.
Most definitely, that you do. And if you fight too much with it, you're going to go blind. Next up, let's move on over to his best friend in the setting itself. Greg, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I can't wait to play. This is my therapy session for the next couple hours. I mentioned before that my health insurance here in the great United States of America deemed me fit enough not to have mental health care anymore. So I decided to supplement my prescribed and needed therapy sessions with some WebDM Starward Bound. It's not a joke. This is fun. This is when I laugh. This is when I have the best time playing D&D. We got serious last week and I loved it. This is a story worth the telling. There's plenty of ink left in the pen. Let's get to it. Elry Toss Bottle, Arcane Trickster, level 9.
Oh, yes, indeed. Last but not least, Kiana, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing great. I have defeated my midterms. I have written 3 essays and done a presentation all within 4 days. So I'm here. I'm feeling sleep deprived and invincible. I don't know if that's actually true or not. But hey, I'm here with my favorite crew as your favorite murder robot, E404, Warforged Barbarian, now level 9. I'm super excited. Let's get going.
Most definitely. And as we begin, we're going to have a brief recap. The party returning to Rontamé for information gathering, find out where they want to go next. Saw that Rontamé itself, the giant cosmic ray, was under attack, under some distress. They get close and find some Nyogi, the hideous eel spider slavers, the scourge of all the spears in and amongst the Phlogiston, attacking, threatening Rontamé and the city that it bears upon its back. After a pitched battle, which saw no shortage of teasing of Darkul by the head Nyogi master, that one of Axum Toll, his life was ended at the left arm of E404 with a blast of pure radiant light. ending that scourge for the time being, so it would seem. And the ship itself was devoured by Rantame, the crew getting out just in time in typical and beautiful action movie style, only to swing about and see the devastation wrought on Rantame City. And that's where we're going to find ourselves. It's sometime later. The crew of the Dawn Rose has docked in the harbor. They have rested, but there is still much work to be done, as the city itself has experienced quite a lot of devastation. Flying over, you saw that there were looked like 3 buildings that had toppled over, losing their interdimensionality. They're bigger on the insideness. All the inside is now on the outside as well. The worst of which was one of the dorm rooms of the Magate Acadium. One of the dorm towers, all 12 stories of it, expanded and then fell kind of across the green lawn that spans between the Magate Acadium and the Church of the Way. It could have been worse, considering the size of that building, but there was still plenty of loss of life and devastation, even in that. So as we pick up, let's check in as we always do and see where the members of the crew are as they're ending their long rest, and figure out where and what they would like to do next. Let's start with Dakul. Where do we find Dakul as the end of your rest finds you?
Dakul's been in deep thought over all the stuff that's happened. He's most hurt by the fact that he didn't get any real closure on figuring out where his mother is, and then combine that with the fact that there was a major crew member call that was lost. He's kind of like soaking it all in. He's not really in a festive mood, but he is, like he always typically is, behind his sketch pad and his paintings, and remembering those moments, and then just putting them back on pieces of paper. That moment when the crew got together and had that moment of silence over Call, the view from the ship over the destruction over Rantame, the final look and thought over Axum Toll as his body was broken by E404. He's putting all of this into his art, and just sitting there and reminiscing and trying to figure it all out.
Okay. And as you're doing this, of course, you have little Hellion at your side. He's actually like content, just curled up in your lap. You feel his soft like purr of his breath, and it's comforting, at least, to know that he is safe and happy. Next, let's move over to Elry. Where do we find Elry?
Elry would be doing something similar, in that instead of throwing himself into his art, he is kind of where he normally would be with E404 underneath the ship, walking back and forth to the front of the ship and then the underside of the ship, as he's thinking about Call. He's thinking about the people that they've lost. It's different for Elry. Elry isn't. It's not a mournful thing. It's not an act filled with sorrow. It's more of a regret for fun times not to be had in the future. He's not sad. It's almost like he doesn't know what to do with himself. And so he's just kind of, for lack of a better word, pacing. And Elry is pacing from the underside to the front and back again.
Okay. E404, where do we find you as Elry is pacing, Dakul is meditating and painting?
E has probably, as they always do, they're helping out where they can, but their mind is kind of going through and processing all the data that just happened, and thinking about the first time they had large ship casualty, that it was Cole who explained, that not everybody can be repaired and reactivated. And so thinking about Cole, what he said, and trying to piece the things together, because E's just now kind of coming to the realization of the impact of that. So being like, so they're helping along. They probably do follow Castor around a bit, make sure that he's fine, give him like checking in, like, do you need water? Do you need food?
Yeah, and he seems to be just going about his normal routine, because he basically was kind of like almost like Captain Hildegard's like steward kind of thing. Like he would bring Hilda water or whatever, food, any messages or anything like that. And you can tell he's kind of just, he's going through his routine with almost like a mechanical, not that he's emulating E404, but it's just like, these are the motions, and he knows the motions and he's doing them, but without much gusto or of emotion, I guess.
Yeah. So he's not hiding that they're following him around, but won't like, poke too much. Just knowing that, people need to drink and eat food.
Right.
And that's how I'm gonna take care of you.
Yeah.
And so.
And as you're following him around, it looks like he's bringing a tray, and he makes his way to the captain's quarters, where we find Captain Hildegard Hilgard. And what's she up to?
Hildegard. My first thought is that in the immediate aftermath, she would probably be smothering Castor for attention, giving him all the things that she perceives him needing, that he probably doesn't need if he is like a 14-year-old boy. And I imagine she has probably been refuted a little bit. And so she's doing what she thinks Cull would want her to, which is get absolutely shit-faced, and then she's going to try to find the fight club that he started.
Okay. So yeah, you basically have Castor. He brings you some your it's not the morning, but it's y'all are finishing a rest, so it's like breakfast, but it's bread and cheese, and there's a mug of ale there alongside of it. And he just kind of like drops it off. Here's your meal, milady. And he turns around and just starts to
Castor.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have you eaten?
I'll get right on. I'll get right on that, ma'am. I promise.
You can stay here. I have enough for both of us.
It really wouldn't be polite to eat your food, ma'am. You're the captain.
Wouldn't be polite to not eat with my crew sometimes.
And he kind of like shifts uncomfortably, like sees that E's there with y'all, and he, yes, ma'am. And he kind of just sits at the corner of your bed and takes a piece of cheese and nibbles at it.
I will offer him the mug of ale.
Oh, well, Cole only let me have one on my birthday. He said it wasn't right. It turned my brain to mush.
I was about my equivalent of your age anyway. Have it every day.
I didn't mean anything by it, ma'am. I didn't mean to imply that your brain was mush.
No, I'm just saying. I think a lot of things are up to you now, including if you want some of that. It's okay with me.
He takes like a long pause, and he grabs the mug and it's pretty smooth, ma'am.
I'm only going to say this once if you want me to only say it once. I'm very sorry.
Like I said, ma'am, he always told me that one day he might not come back. So I was made to expect this. I didn't think that this would be the day. But it's fine. I'll keep doing my job. I promise. You won't get no problems out of me.
I know that we won't. And just want you to know, he won't be your last family.
Oh no, I feel like part of this family. So did Cole. He would talk about you all the time. When we would just be down below decks, when I was reading stories to him.
If there's anything you need, you let us know.
Of course, ma'am. I promise. And with that, he kind of like finishes the cheese, and I really do have some duties I need to get to. If you need anything, please just call, as you do.
I will. I appreciate you being here.
Good day. And he nods to E44 and departs the room.
Hilda bursts into tears.
So do you still want to go look for the fight club?
I'll ask E. E.
Yes, Hilda?
I always heard there was this thing that Cole did that I wasn't supposed to know about.
That could be a lot of things.
I mean the he had a group and they would fight. I don't know why he thought I'd be mad.
Oh. Well, I believe he said that we are not allowed to talk about it. Although this is technically talking about it in some abstract sense.
It's quite the paradox. We'll have to devote some thought to that at some point. I want to do it. Have you ever done it?
It looks like you take your time. You hear a bit of whirring. Yes. Well, like processing how to talk about it, but also not talk about it. These processors are not happy with this.
Hilda takes out a small notebook and she writes in a certain area about that response to remember for later what just happened. I already have to close the fucking chat.
If you talk about the club, you go blind. Anyway, so does that mean that you're going to search out the fight club?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and find it.
So as Hilda, as you kind of like leave,
I might need a stroke of good luck.
That is the rub, isn't it? So as you leave your quarters, you do notice like some of the members on deck like wrapping their hands in like cloth and some like taping up, and it looks like they're about to like go over deck, like over the side, and they like see the captain come out, and they all kind of do that thing where they like try to look like they're busy doing something on deck other than obviously limbering up to start fighting, because they're all like doing stretches and like getting ready and whispering in hushed tones, and so that's what you kind of come out to on the deck of the ship.
Okay, just take a look at everybody and just like, there's no need to pretend anymore. I always knew what you're doing.
and this is actually Smart Gene, which is he's the very well groomed and well dressed. He's the carpenter of the ship. He's over there like he's got his fighting duds on that are perfectly cleaned and pressed. Well, ma'am, Cole, he said that there was a sense of propriety. Like, we didn't need to talk about it. Didn't want to glorify the fighting itself, but we just kind of to remember him. We just thought we'd go down before we head wherever. Just have one more fight in his honor.
That's what we're gonna do. She takes out a flask and has a big old swig.
Oh, well, then he kind of looks around at the other crew that are all like wondering if they're being put on. Well, it's Captain's choice then. Who's the first bout?
Who are my options?
It looks like there's like one of the red shirts is there. Also, you have, like I said, you have Smart Gene. Tall Gene showed up, but he's like, he's the other halfling on the Dawn Rose, and he's just kind of like, I just like to watch.
Is Xander there?
Xander is not there. He doesn't really participate in the fisticuffs. You're not really sure where he is. But also Korid is there, who's a very quiet half-orc, but he's got a solid build to him. He looks like a solid fighter. And also Hoban, the dwarven druid, the y'all's blueberry man. He's there as well. And,
he's too important.
Hey, don't worry, Captain. Don't worry. I got this covered. And he pulls out some berries. He's like, this is how we do this. Everybody gets a fight, and then they get a berry, and then they're ready to go again. It's fine. We're good. We do this above board. I mean, it's below decks, but it's above board. Nobody gets hurt. You got a solid crew all the way. You didn't even know it was really happening. Wait, you just said that you knew. Sorry.
Yep.
So who
I'll take the half-orc.
So you and like Cord, like you.
I mean,
you want me to fight you?
I mean, do you want to? I mean, I can take two of you if you're concerned.
And he kind of like bristles at that and kind of unlimbers his shoulders a bit. And let's go ahead and get down there and get to it then.
All right.
And everybody kind of piles over the side of the ship to the underside of the hull. Elry maybe just completing a pacing.
As he would come down, and if he saw this, he would immediately heel turn and walk towards this gathering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you see Korid, two of the genes. Yeah, like I said, Hoban is there, and they're kind of forming a loose ring around the captain and this half-orc, Korid.
All right. So is this unarmed fighting or?
Yeah, no, there's no weapons. They're not wearing armor. I mean, this is straight
No
up.
spells?
This is just fisticuffs.
All right. I can do that.
And we'll just do this. We'll just do this a little bit different. We're just going to do opposed attack rolls.
All right.
And we'll just do a couple of rounds of that, and we'll see. We'll treat each roll almost like a round. It'll be best of 3 rounds. Okay. So, but go ahead and add your normal attack bonus and everything.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me as y'all come out swinging. And Cord, he wastes no time. He comes right at you. Like looks, even though he's very quiet, he looks as a fighter, he looks aggressive as hell.
Okay. It was a 14. Okay,
I got a 14 as well. So y'all kind of meet in a clinch and trade a few blows, but nothing really permanent. looks like. Go ahead and give me another one.
That is a 25.
Okay, so as y'all kind of break off the clinch, like Cord gets a solid gut shot on Hilda, right? Except that's when you notice like you don't double over and you were waiting on it and you just meet him with an elbow right to the nose. And his nose is bloodied and bent sideways. And he kind of like, and his eyes kind of narrow a little bit. And let's do a last roll.
18.
Okay, on the last one, I got a 23. And he comes right back and he punches you right square between the eyes. Your stars kind of go a little bit. And the fight continues because there's no clear victor just yet. So let's do one last roll.
17.
Okay, last one I got was a 9. So yeah, you rebuff that with a combination of your own, and he at the end of it he drops down to one knee, is like puts a hand up, and he's like, "So, how right cross you got there, Captain?" And he's like got his nose pinched off a little bit, and Hoban comes over and he's like, "Come here, man. God, here, put this." And he pops a berry in his mouth and rips off a piece of his robe and stuffs it up his nose. And he's like, "I'll straighten that out later. Don't worry about it. You're gonna look bright as a new penny."
All right. Hilda takes out her flask. She pours one down, says, "For Cole," and then gives the rest of it to my opponent.
And y'all pass the flask around, and everybody puts up a toast to Cole before taking a swig and passing it on. And there's just the fighting continues for some time before you're messaged, because y'all are kind of just off of Rantame as they were clearing the bay out a little bit of rubble, and you're basically cleared to land if you would like. And it's kind of near the end of all this that Ellie kind of like signals to y'all like, we we can land if you want. The Grand Magus requested to talk to the captain.
Yeah. Let's go, y'all. Ellery, cool. E, you want to go?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We should check on the Magus Stadium.
Okay. And yeah, as y'all land and get a little bit closer, you can kind of see like part of the domed structure, the Arcadium, the actual like area where they allow spell casting and duels to take place. Like part of its kind of arched structure has collapsed in. One of the arches has fallen in, but the other two remain. But you dock and moor there, and as you're departing the Dawn Rose, the Grand Magus Monvi, he's coming out to greet you with a very he's got a very like long face. There's a lot of you can tell he's got deep bags under his eyes. You're not sure the last time he slept through all of this, but he's the first time one of the first times you've ever seen an elf look tired, look his age, because he's pretty old and he looks every century of it right now. But as you greet him, he bows and he's like, "First off, thank you for coming to our aid. I'm at a loss, honestly. Is there anything that you can tell us to shed light on this vicious attack? There's been reports of Miyogi coming for like slaving raids, but an all-out attack. I mean, there was 6 ships total. Would have never expected such boldness from such a seemingly cowardly race that forces others to do their bidding."
I do not know.
Well, I believe we have destroyed the leader of the Niyogi. I am curious, though. Through all of the battle, we were unfortunately lost the ship. Rontame devoured all of the evidence of, of the ship. In the battles around here, were there any crashed ships or any additional information to talk about the whereabouts of where they are coming from, where they are taking their slaves, or just any purpose?
There's remnants of some of the ships. Only one of the defenders, a dwarven vessel helmed by a Captain Ironstar. He was the only ship to actually survive the air battle. All the other FTL ships were lost. Only one of the Nyogi managed to limp away, and they said it was helmed by the Umber Hulks themselves. So they did not give chase. When they approached it, they could see all-out mutiny, Nyogi being torn limb from limb. The Umber Hulks seemed to go mad there at the end of the battle. So we're not quite sure what happened, but it was the turning point that allowed the city to be saved. And so there's remnants of the Nyogi ships, and we've gone through it, but there's honestly not a lot of actionable intelligence that we've been able to find yet. We figured there was another ship heading up the invasion. It seems that y'all were managed to deal with that. You weren't able to recover anything?
Yes, he was able to rip this pendant off of his bastard neck. Darkul's going to hand him, well, not hand him anything. He's just going to show him the pendant.
Okay.
He was also wearing this earring in his ear. Does this look familiar to you?
Well, I can definitely say the pendant is similar to the markings on the Umber Hulks, their skulls. You say you ripped this off of his neck? When did this happen?
In his final breath. Thanks to the excuse me, thanks to the unquantifiable bravery of E404. Yes, we have destroyed Axum Toll, and this is all that remains of him. Are you implying that there is a possibility that this pendant has something to do with the control over the Nyogi's slaves?
And he kind of just mutters right quick and just kind of waves a hand, and his eyes get really big. He's like, that is an item of fairly immense power. It's an enchantment, so it stands to reason that it was extending his control. Perhaps, it could be that's what was the cause of or at least the catalyst for the uprising of the Umber Hulk slaves. So, at least I think it's safe to say that is what this was used for. But the earring I've never seen. It is magical though. Some kind of protection. Not sure what. I could identify it. Have someone do that at the Magate Acadium as soon as we have a free hand. There's been a lot of devastation, quite honestly. And he once again kind of just, his eyes kind of unfocused, and it looks like he's just running calculations in his head, like maybe making mental to-do lists. Is there anything else I can help y'all with? Honestly, we could use your help in sorting through some of the rubble. Anybody with a strong back.
I want to get to the bottom of what this pendant does. I am also curious about Chris. This happens to be one of your people. He has backstabbed us, turned, turned away and is probably a major part of all of this destruction. Do you speak on behalf of him?
Do well, I mean, y'all brought me the evidence of his betrayal. It has been verified. We dispatched people to Aspidoshan in your wake after you left, but they did not find him at his residence there. We talked to some people there. They said that they mentioned y'all's exploits and that y'all had left in search of him. We were waiting to hear back whenever y'all messaged us via the sending stone. It was lifted my heart to know that y'all were en route. So again, thank you.
Well, you have no information as to why he did what he did.
Yes. What did you see on Aspidoshan? Like, what happened?
Oh, sorry. It was a bit of a delay. Yes. We had a battle. He disappeared into an astonishing blue light caused from the power of gems like this, and he shows him the teleportation gem. He disappeared off of the back of a dragon right after we had finished a battle, destroying other men that he may have controlled. Hold on, that is right? I think that's right. Yeah.
I mean, there's a few other points in there, but that's the gist. Yeah. Well, when you show him the gem by itself, he kind of looks at that and he's like, "Oh my!" And he kind of backs away from it a little bit. It's like, that is where did you get this item? It's his. He kind of stops. He's like, I guess the best word would be incomplete. Magic items generally, like, it's a sword or an amulet or an earring or shoes. It's generally bound to something, and this is not bound to anything. So it's for lack of a better word, a little dangerous.
We are well aware of his power. As a matter of fact, my friend here, E404, and Hilda have managed to use these particular crystals in a way to make a powerful weapon. E404, if you would not mind showing him.
He will just hold up the arm, and I'll just twist and transform into the arm cannon.
Okay, yeah, you can twist and transform. You could even like pop a little.
Yeah,
little
probably pop like the latch and
little latch and show
panel.
the conjunction point where you put the crystal.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks and he's like, yes. See, that's seeing the magic emanate from it is more stable, yet still quite volatile. This is obviously used for a weapon.
Yes.
Yes, I can tell. Quite a formidable one at that. Be wary though; it is rather volatile.
Understood. We had found these in the water plane, some form of strange place that we had traveled to at Aspidoshan.
So there is a portal there.
Yes.
It has been long theorized. Krill was earlier in his life. I've known him quite a while. He was quite insistent on finding it. He always wanted every chance to get to the Aspidoshan that he could. He went there all the time. It's interesting that such a high-ranking member would keep such information. But as you say, he was a turncoat, so
Indeed. And he was likely working with the Buccaneers that we found in the strange portal.
Interesting.
They seem to be using the crystals, or at least harvesting or mining or refining them.
Refining. Harvesting them from where?
I do not know, but there were several factories that had several of these gems. We had taken a few. We had also used some against the people there.
Oh my. Well, I definitely want to hear all of this tale. We'll get to that later. Cool. Given the opportunity, there are many here that could set that gem for you in whatever item. It would only take a short time. It's quite up to you what version it takes. But I would only say that you would need to basically finish that sooner rather than later. Its use untethered is dangerous at best.
Yes, I have an idea. I would like to set this gem inside of my sword, if it is possible to have the handle rewrapped. This is my precious, and I am renaming it Cole after one of our fallen.
That's a worthy name for a sword. Well, bring it to the Magate Acadium, and I will make sure that it is done post haste. Is there anything else that we can help you with at all?
What do you know about Darmadil?
Well, I know that it is not often visited. It doesn't have its own atmosphere. In fact, it leaches any atmosphere that of a ship that goes there. That's why generally it's only dwarves, since they can have contained ships. I know that dwarves go there quite a bit for the various mites and other flora and fauna that grow upon it. Those are dwarven delicacies, in fact. But there's also rumors of a great sage or a mage. No one really knows for sure, that resides in a tower upon its back. No one that I know has ever been there to see them, but I've heard stories from the dwarven, for lack of a better term, like crab fishers that go there. I mean, I would say you could look through our library. Things might take a little bit longer to find, as the library's in quite disarray.
Well, that's all right. Is College Bill still here? I'll just get him to do it.
College Bill?
Yes. College. You might know him as College William.
College William. Oh,
William.
I thought y'all killed him. Did y'all not kill him?
No, he's still alive. We just tugged on his nuts a little.
Oh, okay. We can look around. In the aftermath. We have had quite a few fatalities, injuries. The injured are being taken to the Church of the Way. We were working out burial for the dead. But
I'll go there and see if I can help.
Okay. But I can put the word out to see if College Bill is still around.
Thanks.
Damn y'all in chat.
Oh, I feel like at this point he owes me a favor too. So, yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, Captain, any of your crew that you can spare to help sort through the rubble, it would be greatly appreciated. But I must get back to my helping out my students in this time of great despair.
Hold on one moment. Before you make haste,
Yes.
before we destroyed the Niyogi ship, Elroya, Jivius' crewmate, was able to rip away some form of navigational thing. Is it possible that you could have your people look at this so maybe we can further understand what it is the Niyogi are doing?
Oh, well, and do you present that to him?
At that point, Elry would say, it was about this long, and during the flight away, I lost it.
Oh,
just slipped right out of my grasp.
That's unfortunate. We do have some of the rubble collected from the Niyogi ships. I mean, could possibly find a panel that would work with it. I mean, unless I saw it, I wouldn't be able to try to glean any information from it. I don't even know if
I'll tell you what helped was I cast comprehend languages. You might know it. And I was able to figure out that one of the panels was a navigation panel. If you can find one of those, I could probably direct you as to what it was, but it was kind of harrowing when we jumped out of that Niyogi ship and it just lost it.
Well, it's quite unfortunate, considering that would have been a very useful piece of information. I mean, I can look through it. We are keeping some of the rubble left over from the ships in the Arcadium. You're more than you can look through it if you'd like. I mean, I can send someone. Like I said, we do have a lot of pressing matters to attend to.
Sure, I'll help you out.
But yes, I mean, feel free to search through anything that could help out to find out who did this. I've had to be in contact with the FTL. They are redeploying their fleet. So assistance is on its way, but
out of curiosity, how close is that assistance?
Well, the first ships should arrive within a week. They are being sent from the Boston sphere, not far away, with more coming after. They're worried about this being just the vanguard for an all-out invasion of the Toho sphere, but it doesn't feel right to me. And he just kind of is frustrated.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely help you out and look through that stuff, provided that the FTL won't be here for a week. Sounds good.
Yes. It is unfortunate that there is any delay, but any help that you can give
certainly sucks.
Would be appreciated.
Yeah. As the ship's first mate, I will talk to our captain at a later time to see if we can delegate resources to help you. But as of right now, I believe we will be the only party leaving the ship.
It is, of course, entirely at your discretion. If there's nothing else, you can find me out and about town, helping with the recovery effort. But please, feel free to beseech any of our mages here for assistance. And once again, thank you. And with that, he turns on heel and begins to move back towards the city itself. So, where would y'all like to go?
If it is within everybody's time, Hilda, I would like to see what can be done with this gem in my sword. For Cole needs to be reborn.
Oh, I mean, if you want, like he could have taken that when he left. I didn't say it, but I kind of assumed that you handed that over.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I got another sword on my back, so I'm good.
Yeah, and he's holding it, very ceremoniously as he walks away.
Whatever misfortune finds upon that sword will find upon you tenfold.
Do you say that to him as he's walking away?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's, and he just like looks, he's like seriously like very confused that you just threatened him. I hope I haven't done anything to off-put you. The actions of Krill are his own. And he just like, you can tell he's like the stoic exterior kind of cracks a little bit, and he kind of walks back and he walks right up to you, Dakul. I could kill you with a word. Do not ever threaten me again. And he turns on heel and turns his back on you and walks away. Still holding your sword very ceremoniously. But that.
And that is why we don't tell these assholes about things that we might or may not have.
Do you think he was serious that he could kill me with just a look?
Well, he'd have to be able to say the word, but if he did, he'd probably be able to do it. He's like a grand poobah.
My mind is all cluttered with emotions and frustrations. I might have spoke out of turn, especially regarding some of our secrets. I do trust you still have the rod.
Of course I do.
Yes.
Listen, if we had brought an asshole like Krill here, we'd all be having this discussion in some type of like wizard jail where we were sitting there with bars and shit that floated around and gloves that brought us gruel every day. But this asshole is able to send somebody like Krill on us, and it's my opinions aren't the same as Krill's. It's a political mistake. So, don't trust any of these pointy-hatted wizards.
I could not but agree with you more. There is something about him that does not sit right with me. Hey, but I do trust that you will shut his mouth up before he does something dastard to me, right? Harry,
if I can't, I won't be there to see it. That's the best that I can do. I won't stick around and see you die, Nicole. But by God, they won't get that satisfaction.
Of course. This is all the jokes. I am just happy that you are still here with me. Hilda, what are we to do with these extra resources and manpower he is requesting?
I think we have no reason not to trust him so far. I think we should, people who wish to help on the ship, to sort through all the rubble, I think we should let them. I would like to go to the temple and see if I can help any of the injured or dead.
Okay. So, given an order to help, you're going to go to the temple. Ellery, Dakul, and E, what are y'all's plans?
E wants to go help out with the big rubble pieces. They know that they're strong and they can probably help with the the stuff that most humanoids wouldn't be able to deal with.
Okay.
I'm glad to hear you say that, E, because you were going to be conscripted had I gone first. So, E, you're coming with me as we go get the big rubble pieces. And Elry will jump up on E404's shoulders and point forward to the rubble. Tally ho!
Okay. So you're heading to the rubble. Hilda's heading to the Temple of the Way. And Dakul, what are your plans?
I will roll with Hilda. But before everybody gets out of earshot, what are we to do with Ellie? How are we going to discover why creatures are suddenly attacking her?
Elry will turn around from his position on the shoulders of E404 and say, Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? I don't know anybody named Ellie.
I kid, I kid. At least the name of my other sword. And with that, he's gonna follow right behind Hilda.
Okay. I assume then, E, you can gather up a work crew of the stronger backs. You get about 5 or 6 of them to come help you, and Xander will come along as well, because he's basically like, I think I prepared some spells I think that can help with this today. You know, he's got his tensor floating disc and things like that to help move things around.
Ghost spells.
Elfrey?
What?
You are being mean again.
How? He's dead. As soon as he knows he's dead, he'll go away. He'll be at rest.
He just turns to Xander. However you think you can help, that would be good, I think.
Thank you, E404. Thank you very much.
Light, Xander. Go to the light. There's your mom.
He starts taking Elfrey away as he's doing this, so he can't finish his sentence.
There's your mom. She's there.
He just kind of shakes his head and kind of gets his spell book out and like is flipping through it, getting his components ready and everything. And like I said, y'all arrive at the main bit of rubble here is the dormitories that have kind of fallen. Hilda and DeCool, as you'll kind of make your way, you actually have to circumvent the majority of the central part of town, just because of all of the debris and detritus left behind in the wake of this. Kind of taking you closer to the pens where they kept all of their animals and livestock. And you can see the handlers there as you're passing by, just like you overhear them talking about the fact that they, we lost pens 2 and 3 completely. There's just, I don't even know where they ended up. There's just, you can't even go downstairs. It just doesn't exist anymore. And DeCool, you remember, like, as Krill brought you here and y'all went down in the pens, and you could see that these were large spaces that existed, quote unquote underground, but in an extra dimensional pocket, as they're discussing how those pockets in 2 of the 4 pens are just gone. And they're now discussing about, we should have enough food to get through till the reinforcements arrive. So you're making your way there. E404, you and your crew arrive, and it looks like they're just moving rubble from the dormitories and basically the main, like, the green lawn there that's almost completely covered in like a fallen building. And it looks like they're moving it towards the Arcadium, that dome structure, and the docks there to be kind of taken away or maybe reused. You're not really sure, but they're kind of just trying to get it out of the main thoroughfare of the town itself. And so you set to work distributing your crew up. Hilda and DeCool, you make it to the church, the Temple of the Way, and there are quite a few people. Looks like they just have kind of pews lined up to make makeshift kind of beds. People are laying on. They're doing what they can, but I mean, this place, you see one priest, older, walking around. Not sure if they're human or not. It's a male. It's got a very long beard. It's turned white as snow now, and he's just kind of bumbling around, just casting a spell here and there with kind of shaking hands. Each when you see him, I mean, look again, like with the Grand Magus, you're not sure that he has slept all night since all this happened. But other than that, you see their priests in their vestments just going around like carrying water, clean dressings, taking dirty dressings away, the normal aftermath of dealing with the injured. So where would you like to go first?
I would like to go to the head priest. I think a person who seems as though they are.
And you come over to him as he's closing the eyes on someone. I really wish I had enough energy to save one more. Well met. What can I do for you?
I think the question is more, what can we do for you? Name is Hildegard Hilgard, Captain of the Dawn Rose.
Call me Joseph.
Well met, Joseph.
I helped found this temple long ago. You could do what you can if you possess any clerical. He kind of looks at you for the first time. Oh, yes. You have a touch of the divine about you.
I do. A bit more of a touch. Are you? Your name rings a bit of a bell. I'll ask you later, though.
Of course.
Who needs the most help?
Oh.
And this is sorry. This is Dakul.
Well,
hello, it is a pleasure to meet you.
He extends a hand to both of you, and he, very, very weak grip. This is a very elderly gentleman. And he shakes your hand. And any help to ease their suffering, at least, would be appreciated. But over in the corner there, one of the students is very, very, mostly crushed in a building. I'm surprised he lasted the night. Honestly.
You cannot help other people. You do not help yourself first. Please, sir, have a seat. Rest. Point in the right direction. Who needs the proper attention? And that will help delegate.
Well, you can help these people here with their dressings, and their dressings need to be changed. Help with their soiled linens, things of that nature. Unless you have any kind of healing about you, that's all we can do for most of them. It's a lot of broken bones, things of that sort.
I will find my own ways to give comfort. Dakul's going to look around and see if he can find somebody with like a ladle of water or something, just so that he can give to Joseph. And he's going to kind of like show him to a seat and be like, man, get off your feet, man. Okay. Get off of your feet, man.
And he just kind of takes a seat back where he was, like next to this person who looks like they just passed away. They're bandaged all over their head, and you can barely make out their face through all the bandages. And so, he takes the seat and he takes the offered water. And Hilda, where do you head as Dakul sets about helping people out?
She will go check out the person who they said was surprised they lasted the night.
Okay. Yeah, you go over and it's tough making it out, but you're pretty sure that's College Bill. That is on this gurney. His arms look kind of put back into place, but still were very mangled. His body has been crushed pretty thoroughly. He has, they've obviously cleaned off most of the dust around him, but his hair is caked in blood and dirt. And he has very light, ragged breath going in and out as his chest is barely moving.
She will be as quiet as she can. She'll go up to his feet and touch one of his feet. And she's just going to cast a level 1 cure wounds on him.
Okay. Yeah, you cast the spell, and the magic the immediate effect is that his breath becomes a little more smooth, less ragged. And he one eye, the only eye that's exposed from all the bandages, kind of barely flutters open, and he looks up at you, and you almost see it like go wide for a second, and then he just kind of was like, did you find him?
For a minute. But we don't have him now.
I'm sorry. I suppose karma's taking care of me, though.
A little bit, yep. It's interesting how that happens.
Yeah. Should have been in class. I was packing to leave, because I didn't think I deserved to be here anymore. I'd have just been in class. And he's kind of fading in and out of consciousness, but he's,
Well, Billiam, I gotta save the rest of my healing for other people. You'll be all right. But if you can hear me.
Yeah. Yes.
I hope you take some time to reflect. All your problems would be solved if you had just gone to fucking class. Like a good college Bill.
Stay in school. I got it.
When you're feeling better, I have a project for you.
Okay. I'll get right on that.
All right. She will pat him on the shoulder a bit too hard for his condition, and then leave.
Okay. He kind of grunts a little bit at that, so cutting back to E404 and Elry, you're sorting through the rubble. You managed to find a few more of the dead. You also, Elry, you manage to find one of the first years who was buried in their room, but they managed to get into the corner, and as you pull them out, it looks like maybe they have a broken arm, but other than that, they were no worse for wear.
Halfling, right?
Yeah. It was one of the new students, halfling, just no more than 2 feet tall, just barely could be considered an adult at that, so it means they probably look like a 4-year-old kid.
Nice.
But you managed to, it's only probably because of their extremely small size. That's the only reason they survived.
It's our luck. Perhaps it's our luck.
That is true. And E44, go ahead and give me a strength check as Elry's is pulling this kid out.
All right. Just so you know, Warforged count as one size larger when pushing and pulling because they strong.
Okay.
Okay. Just the strength.
Yeah.
That is a 17.
Okay, yeah, you managed to lift this section of a it's just a chunk of the wall, and Ellery manages to get this kid out. But you notice something underneath the wall, like you pull this piece of rubble up, and there's even more rubble underneath it, but it shifts slightly as something moves underneath it.
Huh. So I'm the one who's noticing this?
Yeah, because you're standing right over it, and so I'm just saying, like, you just see like the rubble shift a little bit as you move that away.
Yeah.
There's like something that like moves for a split second, and then it's still again as you're standing there.
Ellery,
Yeah.
I believe there is something underneath here. I am a little preoccupied, still holding this piece of rubble up.
I got it. Elry will pull out his rapier and put it in his teeth and pull his gun out. All right. Everybody stand back until we make sure it's not a hostile. And he'll level the gun as he advances on the exposed area from the piece of rubble.
Okay. You move forward and you see some bits of debris like broken table or something kind of shifting, and again it's kind of hard to make out because of all of the broken bits of furniture, and all this just collapsed in on itself. But as you approach, a massive clawed hand like reaches out at you, and it is
Son of a bitch!
Shelled carapace of an Umberhulk as it reaches out, and you can't see its head or anything, but it's definitely the arm like reaches out for you and makes
Shoot.
You're not gonna believe this.
You're going to re-roll it no matter what. We just talked about my luck.
I know.
Yeah, you're gonna re-roll that shit.
Okay. Okay. I rolled a 5, so yeah, that's like a 12. 8. No, that's a 13 to hit. Is it just kind of like it's like reaching out, but it looks like it's like trying to get up, but there's still like rubble on top of it.
Hey, drop it!
He was waiting for Ellery to get the fuck out before dropping it.
Okay.
Oh, Ellery jumps right back.
Okay. So he just like drops the piece of rubble like right. Okay. Okay. So E404 smashes this rubble down, and the people around like somebody saw it and like, oh my god, it's another one, and they like start running off. And there's a bit of a panic. You manage to like crash it down, and like the hand like kind of twitches again, you smash it again, and then it kind of goes still, and you see a bit of the ichor and blood kind of leaking down its arm, and it no longer moves that you can see.
For God's sake, E. That was one of those Umberhulks.
We did not know that it was one until it tried to attack you. It could have been a person.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. If you pick up anything and something moves, we're going to spray it with water and fire. And then if it's still alive, it's a survivor. If it's not, it fell where it stood and will be buried with honor. I'm not going in this shit anymore. I was being cool with the gun and the rapier in the teeth. I didn't think there was real danger. You know me, E. I don't walk into this stuff. Very distraught.
I do not think that is a sound process. We are trying to help people, not accidentally kill them.
Listen, E404, you have your methods, I have mine. We agree to disagree.
I suppose so. But please do not just shoot anything that moves underneath the bubble.
I'm shooting everything. I mean, full disclosure, every time you lift something, I'm shooting underneath it.
That feels like a waste of energy.
Good news. My gun will... Listen, let's not worry about what I can do and what I can't do. Let's just pick up some shit and find what we need. This is starting to feel like cleric work.
Oh.
E kind of just tilts their head and then walks off to another section without speaking another word.
Yeah, and as you're walking off, there's there's debris there, and Xander's kind of just walking by with his Tensor's floating disk behind him, and people are like loading it up, and you can see like bits of building and bits of like Nyogi ship that kind of crashed down onto the city on there. Like panels. Looks like there's a couple of like maybe an instrument panel and like a piece of like netting and like one of the landing legs. But there are also, you can see as y'all are sorting most of this away, like there is a pile for like there's more than a few of the Umber Hulks that did not make it past the battle, and they're kind of being piled up over. This is the pile for that. And there's some Nyogi over there also. The fallen are being lined up and identified by the mages themselves before being taken to the temple for proper trying to run a solemn adventure here.
It's like a time bomb. You don't know when it's going off.
Don't know when I'm going to look over to the chat and read what people are. Anyway, so yes, in this very somber moment, and then basically that's kind of the work that is there. Y'all do find various bits of personal like jewelry. You find a few spell books here and there. Personal clothes, things like that. As you're just kind of sorting through this. Anyway, we're going to cut back to.
What about the panel? Is there any panel from the Nyogi ship that resembles the nav panel?
Well, I mean, in the pile that he has on his Tensor's floating disk right now, there is an instrument panel with some buttons and switches on it. You don't see anything that had the screen or like that, but he's like, well, I saw more of it up, and he kind of points to the Arcadium, the stadium there. It's like they have a lot of it over there, though. I mean,
okay, I'll go in that direction. You go towards the light. And he walks off.
I mean, all the torches, that is the light, technically. Is it okay if I?
No, you go towards the divine. Just go away, Ghost Xander.
And he just kind of waits until Elry leaves. Just kind of lets Elry leave and then follows behind him later, like giving him enough distance. And he kind of walks to the other side of the Arcadium that Elry is on, and then makes his way back to E. Elry, what do you? You're looking for panels.
And then when he's done with that, he's going to go visit the Grand Magus. Just FYI.
Oh, you're going to go to the Grand Magus, not the Arcadium?
Wherever the gentleman is that said he was going to kill Dakul with a word, Elry's going in that direction.
Oh, okay. Well, he is like kind of out in town, like kind of coordinating all of this. You see him kind of at the steps of the Magate Acadium. People are coming up, and he's just distributing people here and there. You just see him kind of walking all around.
Okay, well then he's going to search down Dumbledore, and he has a couple words for him, by God.
Okay. I mean, you find him, finishing up a talk with another elderly gentleman, and he's like, "Oh, we'll have to teleport in some some more food. Hopefully, it won't be too long. And he kind of turns around. Master Toss Bottle, what can I do for you?
Hey, I heard about the whole kill you with a word. It was very profound, and I appreciate the severity of the situation that you're currently in. And I know the tensions normally are running low in the ivory tower are now running very high.
Yes.
But as being a bit of the arcanist as I am, I know that if you can cast something like power word kill, you should be able to cast something like wish. Right?
I sincerely hope to one day. Forgive me, I was being a bit hyperbolic in my retort. I have not achieved that specific spell or the ability to cast it as of yet. But I do not like being threatened, especially when I have shown you nothing but hospitality. And yes, my tensions are running fairly high. I have 42 students that I'm going to have to write letters to their parents and family and tell them that they will never see them again. So I do apologize. It was unprofessional, and I will apologize to your crewmate for what I said.
For sure.
But no, I can't cast that. If I wish I could cast wish, huh?
Right. It's always the yes, I absolutely. It kind of makes me think though. You said that you hope to be able to cast it one day, which means, and this is just a dumb old halfling talking, but normally if you hope to cast it, that means that you think that you have the materials in which that you're ready to cast it from, like a scroll or a book where the spell is written down, and then at one day you hope to be able to learn it and sink it into your brain, but you have to have it written down somewhere, right?
If you're asking if I do have access to said spell, I assume you were talking about wish. Yes.
Yes.
Well, I might have access to it. Yes. And he just kind of stops at that, like.
Okay, now here's where things get weird. I got an idea. Now, this idea might be out there, but how powerful is that spell? I always heard it was super duper powerful.
Well, the benefits versus the costs. I mean, if one does not take great care when casting, it can turn on you.
How many letters did you have to write?
Well, I'm going to have to write 42 as is. I'm not sure about those that are in the temple right now.
Okay, so here's what I'm suggesting. Since you bandied about I'm going to kill my best friend with a word, that got me thinking. And as you know, we have carte blanche here with the Acadium. And as you have access to this wish spell, I have got a tit for tit that I'm ready to give you.
Mhm.
And here's what it would be. You cast the wish that we get here right when the battle starts.
I see your point, but when I say that I have it in a book. I do not have
And you would use it once and it would be gone forever.
Power to cast it yet. If it was on a scroll, that is one thing. But I do not have sufficient power to cast the spell as is the point that I was trying to make.
Ooh. Do you
One
have
day I hope to achieve said power. If I did have it on a scroll, as you know, being one of the Arcane Brotherhood, then yes, I could cast it off of the scroll. But unfortunately, I am not able to do that.
I'd like to see the book.
And at the as you know, things of that power are generally kept quite contained. Might I inquire as to why you would like to see the book?
I have somebody I would like to talk to see if they have the power to cast it.
And who would that be?
He stomps onto the ground. We're riding on him.
I mean, yeah, his eyebrows like shoot halfway up his forehead. Well, that is an interesting proposal. I am not aware of any magical abilities of Rantame other than, I mean, I know that he has a generous psychic field.
And he flies through space.
He does fly through space. That is true. But
maybe we could talk to him. He probably knows a bunch. You know, my best friend E404 is close, intimate friends with Rantame, and could certainly glean some information that perhaps, you know, pardon me, but a stranger like yourself would not be able to get from Rantame. And if we take the book, perhaps that'll spark some interest in Rantame's brain, and we can stop you from having to write 42 letters, and we can stop us from having to say goodbye to a friend named Cole.
Well, this is an interesting proposal indeed. I will take it under consideration. Would you allow me to confer with my colleagues to see the possibility of this being an actuality?
Absolutely. And just say, you know, it's us. We're from the Dawn Rose, the person, the ship that the Acadia made that kind of lifelong blood pledge to help, you know, that type of stuff.
Yes. We are familiar with your exploits, and again, thank you for all that you have done for the Magate Acadium.
We're not done.
I will seek you out in a short time. Allow me to confer with my fellow mages.
Sure. I'm going to go sift through the rubble of the bar and see if I can find some, like, fake wine to drink. I'll see you.
Well, of course. There's real wine, though, and
so you say.
Only the rooms were fake.
So you say.
He manages a brief smile at that. And he walks off to the Magate Acadium upstairs and indoors. So where are you headed before we cut?
Elry's just going to go back and just trying to find that navigational panel. So he's going to go back to the, yeah.
Okay, so you're heading over to the Arcadium, do that. Okay, we're going to cut to the temple. Hilda, DeCool, what more are y'all up to there? It looks like you managed to stabilize College Bill. He falls into a kind of a deeper sleep not long after you finish talking to him, and he promises to stay in school.
Good. Excellent. Oh, I love that. It's going to be like 90s PSA.
Drugs, stay in school.
Don't do drugs. Stay in school. Stay out of the frothy beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hilda will go. She'll probably make rounds, see if there's anybody that she can help with healing spells, spare the dying, anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, Bill was the worst there, so you're giving him some healing. More healing would be obviously better for him. It would quicken his recovery, but you have at least kind of pulled him from death's door. You have pulled him back and
well, cool.
Ah, yes. I know we've been so busy helping the wounded.
Yes.
I would like to take some of our time to get the truth behind this pendant and this hearing. Maybe some clues. I think we should go to the Magate Acadium.
Sure, let's. Seems like I've done everything that I can here. Let's do it.
Okay.
Get some answers.
Okay, so you're heading to the Magate Acadium now. Yeah, before you leave, the head priest here, Joseph, like, thank you once again. I appreciate all that you have done. It's a great service.
Before we go, one quick thing, if you don't mind, cool.
Oh, no, by all means.
I heard the name of a Joseph, or rather, I read it last time I was here.
Oh.
As being from somebody from Nero's 4.
Yes. It is my home planet. Yes.
That is
I had many adventures that came between leaving there and settling down here. Many adventures.
That is absolutely fascinating. I would like to shake your hand.
Oh.
See, we come from Nero's 4 as well.
And he kind of pauses for a second. The Dawn Rose. Is it?
Yes, the Dawn Rose.
Very nice. I left on a ship from there as well, called the New Horizons.
I read about it. I did, and we actually, our ship, it won the race in your honor.
The pursuit. Yes.
We did. Well, we didn't really win the race. We intercepted some Nyogi, but.
So what it sounds like to me is you did what was right.
That is what we try to do most of the time. I'm not sure we succeed most of the time, but we try.
Staying true to oneself out here is the hardest struggle.
I was wondering, I have one of our closest friends here. They're cool. One of our closest friends. Their name is E404, and I found them on Nero's. And I was told that there was one of you, perhaps, that was like them.
E44, it's an odd name.
They're not entirely organic, as far as I can tell.
The living automaton.
Yes.
Ah, yes, we did. Bezalel. Was actually quite a gifted wizard. He enjoyed making things. He always wanted to make another one of himself. He, I don't know if he ever succeeded. But yes, we did have one amongst our ranks for a time. What would you like to know about him?
Is he still alive?
Oh, I don't know. I have not seen him in many years. I know that he kept in touch with, what was his name? Always so secretive. Quincent? Yes, Quincent Basilon.
Quincent Basilon?
Yes, another of our ranks. They mucked about after we kind of broke the party up, and I settled here and established this temple. And, I would see Quincent every now and again. He would drop by. Not in some time, though. It's been quite a few years.
And there was one other, but I've found the least on it.
What's that?
Wasn't.
What name?
Hilda utters the name that's in her notes that Emma can't think of, even though she should.
What? Whose character?
Mine?
Oh, yours?
Mine. The character I played for 2 years.
Yeah. Yes. A bit of a nature lover.
Was it Dave?
Rafe Fiennes.
Rafe. Oh, yes, Rafe. Rafe Fiennes. I could find more about his brother Ralph.
Yes. But he was quite an exuberant dresser. He was the most outlandish person I think I've ever met.
Well,
just think if Ziggy Stardust was a druid in space.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you need to imagine. Yes. I have not seen him in some time. I hope he achieved his final form.
Where? I am quite dedicated to E44. And you guys have been playing these games for a long time. It happens all the time. Sorry. I just forget it sometimes. I would very much like to help my friend E404. If there's any information about Bezalel, there's a sending stone on our ship.
Well, I will keep a lookout if anything. But I would say to seek out Quincent Basilon. He should still be alive. He's a elf, half elf. It's so hard to remember with him.
Oh, thank you so much, Joseph. It is an honor and a privilege to have spoken to you. From one relic of history to another.
Oh, you have a few more years yet, it looks like.
So do you, I hope.
Yes.
Well, cool. Thank you for letting me speak for a moment. Let's find information. Hi, Munkle. Hi, Monk. Yeah. So we're gonna go find some mages.
Okay, you're heading to the Magate Acadium, and we're gonna cut back over to Elry as E44. You're still kind of sorting through. You find the carcasses of like one or two more Umber Hulks. The one you squished, I mean, it was thoroughly dead after the great squishing. Not much left there.
It's basically just taking a giant shoe to a cockroach.
Yeah, it's already trapped under another shoe. And so anyway, but you managed to sort through some things. Elry, you're over in this pile of like leftover Neogi like ship. I mean, it's like I said, it's just random pieces as these things were kind of broken apart, and some of it crashed down here. Go ahead and give me an investigation check as you're looking through this.
I'm going to be taking another bit of luck. Yep, that was a 5.
Okay.
It's a 2. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
these are just random bits of like panel. You've managed to find a few panels, nothing that really looks like what you used before. I mean, but you can't really read any of this. So it's just kind of difficult, like sorting through all these bits of debris. You don't look like you really see anything that could work at this time. I mean, but you've only searched for a little bit. So.
Okay, I've got a better idea. This is more, Elry's not the hands-on type of guy here.
Yeah.
So we know that this is a school. We know that there unfortunately, were 42 letters that have to be written out, but there are many, 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 many more that don't have to be written out. And there are students who are presumably being kept in an area safe and kind of made accounted for and things like that, correct?
Yes, I mean they basically have taken the underclassmen and kind of put them in the cafeteria for now, feeding them, keeping them safe. The upperclassmen that are able are helping with the recovery effort. But yes, there's still plenty of people who can cast spells walking around.
Absolutely. So Elry is going to approach the cafeteria and say, okay, everybody, who wants to help catch these bastards?
In unison, every student stands up as there is a cacophonous screech of chairs.
Fantastic. How many of you can comprehend languages?
I mean, like, in this whole cafeteria, there's probably about, you'd say somewhere between 50 and 60 students, and like 12 of them like raise their hand.
All right, you dozen, come with me. We're going to fuck these guys up. Let's go.
Are we allowed to go out there? Is they still attacking? I mean, you see,
No, they're all dead.
They're like kids. They're all like first year, second year, you know.
I'll take care of you, I promise. And he touches his hat and turns into the Grand Magus, or my name's not the Grand Magus.
And there's a roll of laughter that kind of issues forth. You can tell it was like pent up tension, and you can see like with that, like everybody in the room kind of lets a breath out, and those 12, like they're like, yeah, okay. You're pretty funny.
Yeah, he will cast Mage Hand too. That'll take off his hat and tip it as he goes, listen, I'm one of you guys. We're going to flip the script on this shit because why? We got magic. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, we do. We have magic.
We got a shit ton of magic.
And they all kind of get there and they're like pulling their books out. Some of them are dropping them as they're like, and they pick it up, and, you know, they bumble their way out there to help you search for, to search the Neogi. Okay, so go ahead and give me another investigation roll with advantage as you bring out your dirty dozen.
Can I use luck on what is essentially the same roll? That was a 2. Or I just rolled another 2.
That was with advantage?
Oh, shit, no. Oh, God. I'll use this one. Damn it. I got so upset. Can I use luck? That was a 6.
You can. I would say yes. You can use luck on one of the die. Yeah.
All right. Let's go with we're going with the dragon bone. Come on, tabletop loot. Okay, it's not the best. It's 15.
15. Okay. You do manage to find a panel that it says navigation on it, but it is only half the panel. There isn't the map screen that you saw that you were kind of sorting through the pictures is gone. But the right half of the panel where you insert the crystal, you know, some kids bring it to you and they're like, is this what you want? And you flip it up and you look at it and like, sure enough, that's the spot where the rod goes. And there's, you know, the other buttons you were messing with are there, but like you can see the right half of the screen where it was broken off. So you do manage to find a navigation, albeit an incomplete one.
Okay, you know, the half-assed attempt would be by Elry to say, okay, we're looking for a screen that fits this puzzle piece to the side. If we can find that, great. If not, I don't know, let's get drunk or something.
And all their eyes get huge. Wow. We're allowed to get drunk?
You're just in a battle, of course.
Oh, my. Oh, and with renewed gusto, the kids begin searching. Let's see here. And after some time, they do manage to find they've managed to find a piece of a panel that has a screen on it. But you're not sure, like when you put them together, they don't really match, but you do have a panel over here with this, and you have a panel that's a screen. And that's at the end of all this searching, that's about the best you got.
And Elry, who's been doing nothing except for like directing these people, he'll go, woo, all right, we've done all we can, kids. We've done all we can. Look what I found over at the Frothy Beard. And he pulls out a box of like a crate full of dusty and kind of, you know, any wine that he was able to save. It might be fake wine, but it tastes like real wine. Everybody pop a cork. Let's throw it up to all of our dead friends. Xander and Cole and a couple of the other guys.
Yeah, in the background, like Xander's walking by and all the kids like look up at him and he's just like, and just keeps walking, and they raise the bottle, and you know, a few of them like spit it out immediately. Some of them try to tough through it. It's not a good vintage. There's a reason why it was a dusty box, like kind of tucked away in the corner. But you know, any wine is good wine.
Let it burn. That's it.
But yeah, Elry, you've seen Hilda mess with the, you know, the life scanner before, and you know, you see a bunch of wires coming out of the back of the screen. There's a bunch of wires coming out of this other panel. I mean, surely somebody can stick these two things together, right?
That's what Elry's thinking. Elry's like, my job is to find things. I do not fix things. The thing has been found, and now it's somebody else's problem.
Okay.
Time to drink.
About the end of all that, they're kind of like changing shifts, so to speak, at the kind of the recovery site. So you and all the Dawn Rose crew kind of get a break there, and it's about this time that you see Hilda and Dakul coming up from the temple itself, and you all kind of reconvene there at the steps. Elry's got 12 students kind of following in his wake. Some of them have bottles, drinking them. Others have like wine kind of dribbling down their chin on their tunics, and some of them are carrying these big panels. Because Elry, I'm just going to assume you weren't carrying it, right? Yeah, that's what. Okay, I just figured. So Elry comes in with a wake of a dirty dozen of children that are all kind of various states of getting drunk and carrying these big like Neogi panels.
Hey guys.
What is going on here?
These are my Lost Boys.
Oh, we've taken a turn in that direction already.
It was inevitable.
I completely agree with you. What are they carrying? What did you make them do? Are any of them dead or dying?
That's nope.
We found what Master Tossbottle wanted us to find.
Master Oh,
yep. That's what he insisted we call him. And it's only been like 5 minutes since you gave him the wine and everything, right? Like, but this kid's like, his bottle's half gone and he's already drunk. Like,
I'm gonna grab the bottle from that kid and finish it myself.
Oh, well, sharing is caring.
I'll share it with the cool too, if you want to.
Now it ought to make sense.
So what?
Hey, they're taller than me. So what?
What the fuck is this? I guess is my question.
Well, the fuck this is, Captain, is this is the panel that I pulled the rod that I lost out of on the Neogi ship. And this screen thing here is something that you and E404 and everybody that can do smart things can hook together. And if we only had the rod, which we do, we could put it in there, and then we'd be able to see where the Neogi ship used to be, and presumably be able to find Dakul's mom.
And with that being said, Dakul's eyes just get quite big and a little bit glassy, and he runs over to the little halfling and squeezes the hell out of him.
Kiss me! I've been waiting for this forever.
There'll be
Oh,
no
shit.
smooches.
Ellery, I think this is the only time I'm ever going to be happy that you're trying to stick your rod somewhere.
Yeah, well, and he will return the hug with the cool and just kind of, pat the back of his brother's neck. And he'll say, we'll find her, buddy. We'll find her. And whenever he gets let down, he's going to tell the group about the proposition that he has proposed to the Grand Magus to enact the one wish spell that they have. And if agreed upon, it could potentially take them back to the beginning of the conflict before Call's death.
Hilda will give Ellery a hug.
Kiss me! Kiss me! I've been waiting.
She will full on kiss you. If that's what you want.
No tongue.
Wait, no tongue or with tongue? I didn't hear.
He will absolutely go tongue. If this is a Cold War with kissing and how far we're going to go.
Fucking escalate.
Right.
This is gonna be we're gonna need some sensitivity training after this.
He's gonna be so confused.
I was gonna say, between Ellery and Nicole, all that time on the Dawn Rose, this is the ship that we've been looking for.
Yeah.
If Ethan's thinking, what the fuck? He's thinking, what the fuck?
Ellery will, after he kisses the captain, he will, very similar to the same way that he kind of grabbed the back of Dakul's neck, he will grab the back of Hilda's neck, and he'll say, I don't know if it'll work, but it might not be the best thing, but we might be able to get him back. And the more I thought about it, Captain, and this is your call, obviously, in all things, I just negotiate bullshit deals. But if they can do it, they might be able to take us all the way back. Bring back Ledbetter.
Well, Ellery, we're gonna get Ledbetter back no matter what. Thank you. Thank you very much.
What a joyous time. You have given us hope. Thank you, Henry. Thank you.
It's all smoke and mirrors, brother.
Now to get a few more questions answered, we are heading to the Magnet Acadium to figure out what that diabolical demon's trinkets do.
Okay. So what would y'all like to do first? Would you like to go seek out the mages to figure out what the trinkets do? Or do y'all want to try to go ahead and fix this monstrosity of panels together to figure out what's on the navigation rod?
Dakul is probably, he's got that iron focus right now. So he's going to head over to the Magus with all the work that Tossball has done so far. He knows it is going to be in good hands. Okay.
All right. So you're heading there. Hilda, E, and Ellery, what are y'all doing?
Hilda can start work putting the thing together. She'll do her best. I'm pretty sure Hilda's been so shit-faced this whole time. She's not really sure what just happened.
Yeah, he will just kind of help. Yeah. And they don't say anything.
Yeah, Eve's help is mostly like Hilda trying to like work on this with her tools, and she's holding them like backwards.
Yeah.
She just kind of picks up the wrench and like turns it around, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Give me a Phillips, and you like can clearly see that that's a flathead, and you're like, and you give Hilda the flathead instead, that kind of thing. So,
At one point, as they're all sitting there, Ellery will climb up onto E404, will hug E404 around the neck, hold them the back of their head with the same way that he held Dakul's and Hilda's, and kiss E404 on the metal face and say, and I'll always love you most of all, Tin Man.
Thank you, Elry.
I'm gonna go get drunk. Woo! Let's go, kids.
and Elry goes running off with the remainder of his troop of young and impressionable mages, and they go off into some scrapes. Okay, would you mind giving me a crafting roll using your smithing tools there, Hilda? I was going to give you advantage because you had EU44 helping you out, but as you pointed out, you were blind drunk, so that negates that advantage. And so I need just a regular roll.
All right, I will. As I'm getting my dice together, because Jim Davis has got all the weird D30 here.
I rolled a 29.
I've got. Oh, I actually just rolled a 22. I do want to point out, Grant Ellis has just said if we get to 1,000 bits today, he will rap at the end of the show. We're already at 200. Just putting it out there.
All right.
Thing that could happen.
I mean, it could happen. We got 51 minutes left in the show, so I don't know. I'm just saying, it's only 800 bits. It doesn't seem like a lot.
It doesn't, and it's. If you guys have ever seen a Grant Ellis rap, it's a special thing.
But it means the world to us, especially if Grant Ellis will rap.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is smithing like strength based or int based? Which one is it?
For this, I would say it's int based.
All right.
This is you trying to figure out what fires go to what, and all that kind of stuff up. So just your int and your proficiency bonus.
Yes. All right. 17.
17?
Yes.
Okay. It takes you a little bit of time, but you do manage to at least get things plugged together enough for you think maybe this thing could work. Maybe. There's only one problem, and I think you know what that problem is.
Is it we're missing the rod?
How to power it.
Oh.
Because this thing is usually hooked up to a life jamming helm. And so you do know that, like, there's the way that you got the tracker to work last time is you hooked it up to DeCool. So you do know that can work, but it's not maybe advisable.
I'm going to find the Grand Mage's Monvi. Maybe
okay.
ask him.
Okay.
Power sources.
So he is inside. Actually, you go off to move him, and somebody directs you. Who kind of was like, "Oh, I just told somebody." He's in the library. They're having a brief meeting, and so we're going to cut over to the library where DeCool. You have already been instructed, like as you were looking for the mages. They directed you to the library where currently there's a lot of students. They're kind of filtering the rest of the students from the cafeteria into the library since everything seems safe now to start sorting the books back onto the shelves. And so that process has started. But off in the corner, there are 3 mages, including the Grand Magus, all kind of in hushed whispering, like, I don't see how it could work. I mean, how would it read the spell? I don't get it. And you just kind of hear them over, in hushed tones talking about something, about a spell and being able to cast it. And that's what you find when you walk upon them, DeCool.
Hello, gentlemen. Fellow casters.
Oh,
I have something that.
Yes, and you see Monvi kind of turn around, and you see him actually blush a little bit, like in embarrassment, and he steps away from his counterparts, and he's first off, I'd like to apologize for my outburst earlier. The monumental sorrow of the moment eroded my better judgment. I should not have responded the way I did. But just know that as long as I am Grand Magus here, you will always be welcome, and anything that you value, we value, and is safe in our care.
That is most encouraging to hear. I feel that we were both prisoners of the moment. Forgiveness is divine.
Yes.
So let us be divine together.
And he just kind of inclines his head, you know.
Would you really kill me with just a mortar? Hi, kid. I don't want to know.
Actually, no. I actually can't cast that spell. It was more boastful. When a man hands you one sword and still has one on his back, it is best to look like a threat and not like.
I see what you did there. Yes, it is quite true, though.
What? I'm sorry, but what can I help you with, Master DeCool?
Yes, I know your people are already busy forging the gem to my sword.
Yes.
I have another task. I must have this pendant identified. Any information would be pertinent, but it is very special to me.
I will, and he kind of like motions to one of the mages he was talking to. He's like, yes, would you please identify this? No, legend born. Yes. And he kind of like whispers a little something there. Yes, it shouldn't take long.
Don't forget the earring as well.
Yes. And he just kind of like takes the earring and just like mutters some words. This is just an earring of offers protection of the second order. It is basically a ring of protection +2, but it's an earring.
I know who would love to have this earring. Thank you for this. Out of curiosity, how much longer until this between my precious sword, the memory of Cole, is back in my hands?
It will be a few hours. The gem itself is nearly the perfect size. If you don't mind, we decided to set it in the handle of your sword, the dragon's mouth. So you remember the handle of your sword is it's like a bone, like a dragon bone handle, and it ends in the pommel is a dragon's mouth, like with its claws kind of reaching forward and its mouth open, and basically they're going to set it between its claws and mouth, almost like it's breathing blue fire out.
Yeah, that shit is dope. all right, cool. Yeah.
Basically, for anyone out there, like DeCool's sword basically looks like Ramirez's sword from the Highlander. Like, anyway, that's exactly what that looks like, except it's silvered also. Anyway, so yes, a few more hours on that, and we'll be able to present you with the pendant and the sword, if you don't mind, at the same time. But we will get to this, I promise.
Thank you. This does not go unnoticed. And he gives a humbling bow.
And he returns it, the bow in depth and duration. And only a few minutes after that, Hilda, you enter the library as DeCool and Monby. It looks like they're about to maybe break their conversation, but you kind of see them off to the side. Students busily putting books back on shelves.
All right, I will try to seek out the Grand Magus if he's there.
It's good to see you again, Captain. What can I do for you?
It's good to see you as well. I am curious. You may not be the best person to talk to, but I figured you'd be the first person I'd go to. I am looking for an alternate power source. For reasons that are relevant to my ship. I need to do something with some Neogi technology. And I don't want to use a person to power it for obvious reasons. It seems rather painful. I haven't done it before.
Right. Well, I only know the only time anyone from the Magate Acadium has been able to work with one of these or any of this technology was, of course, the ship that y'all commandeered in Neos 4.
The St. Stephen, yes.
The St. Stephen, yes. And I have looked through their notes, and it appears that all of the systems, they do draw energy from life force. From this does use the life energy. We have not been able to reverse engineer an alternate power source. So quite frankly, the best advice I can give you is find a hale and hearty, willing person, and you could maybe try to hook them up to it. This would be highly experimental. I would love to be on hand if this is something that you are doing, just for the experience of it.
It is, but I would need the permission of my crew.
Mm.
Unfortunately, one of them who you threatened to murder recently. So
we have made amends. I mean, the cool's like standing right there. Like,
yeah.
No, we have made amends. I have apologized.
What do you think, Dakul? Oh, thank you, Ex Libris. We're gonna get a rap at the end.
We're gonna get a rap at the end because Ex Libris just dropped 1,000 bits on us. Thank you very much.
You had asked me a question.
Yeah. Would you mind if the Grand Magus was there while we tried this?
Oh man, Trey says hell no. Dakul, man, I know the time is of the essence. I think we should allow this.
I think we should stipulate that the reasons why we're doing it or the specific information that we gain from it, I wish would be omitted from your notes.
Seeing as how I am mostly interested in the academic application and use of this technology to possibly be used against them, I could see how information gleaned directly from interface could be omitted. Although I would say that any information that could help the FTL fight these people, these beasts, I would encourage you to share it. But if that is the stipulation, I do acquiesce to your request.
Thank you. We will we'll see how it goes. Thank you for your candor, Dakul. Well, I think we need to go talk to E.
Okay.
What do you think? Valerie, are you here?
Yes,
I'm
I
not
believe
getting drunk.
Ellie. Yeah,
Nope.
Ellie is somewhere getting faded.
Oh.
I did my duty for this episode. I'm out with the Lost Boys. Get drunk.
Oh. Yes.
Well, there's no reason you can't do both. You can't.
What, I can get drunk and help out?
Yes.
How are we talking? The Dungeon Master's not here. Go ahead, ask me whatever you need. Somehow we're communicating over a distance.
Cast wish right now.
Wait, I'm getting a transmission. What? It's Hilda. It's my captain. What do you need?
We have special make-out energy that lets us speak to each other. Because of all the tongue.
I'm the dungeon master now. I'm the dungeon master.
Wait a minute.
Everybody levels up.
We're 10.
You're-
We're 10.
And let's see, what kind of magic items do you guys want? Let's
I I'd like a wish spell. Can I?
Yeah, can we just have like 25 scrolls of wish?
How much money do you got?
We'll figure it out.
We also need about 3 million gold pieces in various gems.
No, I believe what he's asking for is Grant asking for real money for him to bestow wish. Oh, wait a minute.
All right, let me get out of here.
Oh no, he's back, everybody. He's back.
You do know that I could hear like every bit of that, right? I don't trust y'all at all. Okay, so what's next?
I want to find E.
Okay.
And I want to find Ellery.
Okay, E is, I would assume, right outside where y'all were working on the Nyogi panel. Ellery has taken his drunken dozen students. I don't know where.
So you find us. We were walking through the quad, just drinking like pirates. He's basically turned these academic kids into, if this is a scene from Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride, not the movie, where like we're walking through the broken rubble of the town. There's like a kid laying in the mud with a pig. We're not sure where the pig came from, but like somebody's running around in circles chasing somebody else. And Elry's sitting there drinking like, you know, only a quarter left of wine. And he's like, and that's when me and my cousins decided that owlbear needed to be purple. Whoa, Captain, what's going on?
Hey, Ellery.
Hey.
I'm glad you're enjoying the college life. I need your help.
Sure.
I want to convince E to let themselves be hooked up to the Nyogi panel, and I thought that you might be able to help us figure that out. And then Hilda takes half-finished bottles from at least 2 of your entourage and drinks them immediately.
Wait a minute. We're down to 10? We had 12.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Don't find them.
Back and you see 2 of the kids passed out on the grass. Like one is kind of rolling around, the other is just like straight up like openly snoring.
All right. Wait a minute. You want me to convince E404 to get something hooked up to him?
Yeah, well, we have to make the panel work that we found so that you can twiddle your rod into it. And then we need to...
That was on purpose. And you said it on purpose. And I connect the dots there, Captain.
I don't know what else you're supposed to call it, honestly. I'm trying to. You're not very technical. I'm trying to bring it down to the level that you'll understand.
I just stuffed my rod in it. All right, go ahead.
I'm not very happy about having to do this, but by my approximation, E404 is the strongest of all of us and is the most likely to not die if we hook them up to it. And I don't really want to ask them to do that because too many people have died lately, and I thought maybe you would be drunk enough to do it.
Wait a minute. I'm never drunk enough to not do something. So that's 1. 2 is there has to be a... There we are.
That's Elry.
That's one of my lost boys. You want to hook it up to? Why don't we? Don't you think Ellie could do it?
You want to do this to your sweet precious baby
before I want to do it to E404?
Oh,
listen! I saw E404 go down. I've never seen that before. It kind of scared me a bit. And I don't get scared a whole lot. I don't know if you even noticed that. But, you know, Ellie's tough and she's a whole, like, fucking ship.
But she's also definitely half evil. And I'm not sure E404 is half evil.
That like it's a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. We agree on this. We have common ground on this point. But
I can handle half evil way more than I can handle E404 all dead.
Well, I mean, if we're so nervous about it, I mean, I'll get hooked up to it. I'm not that scared of it, and I'm getting fairly drunk.
Listen, if we're just gonna, I mean, if everybody's gonna step forward, fine, you get hooked up to it. But I mean, I think that Ellie could do it too. We could ask Ellie. Ellie, I mean, she had like worms growing in her. I mean, she was pretty tough about that.
That's true. The worms are fucking gross. Well,
yeah.
I suppose it is up to her ultimately, but I need to find some sort of living being to hook up this machine to.
Ours living being. Ellie, not me.
We're not a human
being.
Wait a minute. What am I saying? What?
Yeah. Ellie?
Huh?
Hi.
Hi.
Kiss again.
Okay.
And so after Ellery and Hilda make out, where do y'all head?
So Ellery, who in the best of circumstances has no idea what's going on, is even lost a little bit more in this hellscape that was the former Magate Acadium. As I think that Ellery would push for Ellie before E404. And that's because it's selfish. Ellery saw E404 go down. He doesn't want to put them through anything additional this close to having almost lost them.
Okay. I think Hilda might be concerned that we are not very clear on how Ellie gets powered, whether her life force is really life force or not. And she's a bit scared to risk the ship. I think we should state our case to DeCool and E404.
All right.
I think that
DeCool and E404.
If one of the advantages of Ellie being connected is that she is familiar with navigating in general. Whatever information that is on that rod, she would probably have a stronger understanding of what it is over E404. Not to say that our beloved E404 is not intelligent. I just believe Ellie might be more skilled.
That is very true. However, there are many risks that we do not know in terms of Ellie's life force. If we are to drain the life force of her humanoid form, I do not know what that could do in terms of the ship. There are far more unknowns in terms of the calculation of risks when it comes to Ellie versus myself.
Well said, E. I agree with you.
So, are we connecting it or what?
Sure. I got.
Is that what you're doing?
I've got my battery, my jump kit.
Okay. So.
And you're gonna hook it up to E404?
Yeah, first.
Okay. Well, all this debate and everything has kind of sobered Hilda up a little bit. So, with E404 helping you, you can go ahead and give me another roll to a smithing roll to connect this thing to E404.
I turn to Ellie. I will be all right. I will say if I feel strange.
Advantage or?
Yeah. Since you have E404 helping you out.
Thank you, E404. If this doesn't work, then we'll just go on down the line. Beings. 10 and 11. So that is a 16.
A 16? Okay. You hook it up, it sparks and kind of like the lights kind of dim and kind of flash on. E44, go ahead and give me a Constitution save at disadvantage.
God damn it, because one of those was a fucking nat 20. But with disadvantage, it's still a 15.
15. Okay, yeah, you see E's eyes kind of dim a little bit, and if they were talking, like maybe their voice kind of like slowed down a little bit. But this thing sparks, and you're kind of just all sitting around it, and since you said that Manvi could be there, he is there. Watching these proceedings, and you could see he was kind of watching all the whole debate with a little bit of a, I don't know, like a wry smile, just like, how do these people do anything? But after a while, the panel lights up and the screen kind of flicks. It kind of rolls a little bit, almost like an old, for all you young kids, for an old VCR that needs the tracking adjusted. It just like the screen kind of rolls, but it stays kind of steady. And so all that's left is the insertion of Elry's rod.
Excuse me, Bon V. I don't like to whip it out in front of strangers. So if you could, step outside. No, won't work. Going outside.
I've already made an agreement with your captain. She told me I could be here.
Well, then we're at a fucking impasse, aren't we? As I stand here and not do anything. Captain, I evoke the power of the kiss.
Granted. What?
And thus, with one word, I can kill your fucking existence in this room.
What did I just agree to? I'm very confused.
I believe that Master Tossbottle wants me to leave, so he doesn't know about the thing that obviously you have, otherwise you wouldn't be reconstructing the navigation panel. But you have bested me, so I will step away, since obviously
that's all I wanted to hear.
You don't like an audience for this.
I like an audience for a lot of things, just not this. And as soon as he's gone, he will produce his rod with a flourish, no longer in jail. Hello! And he'll also pull out the navigational rod. Hello! And he'll insert the ladder into the navigational device.
Is that first part entirely necessary?
It's time to.
It's called flourish.
Okay, so you put the navigational rod in there, and it light fills it, and it brightens from a crimson red to a brighter, and the screen itself begins to flicker and slowly resolve, focus a bit. And Elry, as you were, flipping through the charts, you could tell that there were like individual routes, and that the ship had obviously taken between spheres. But this map that you see, it looks like almost like a combined image. You can see multiple images kind of stacked up on each other, and the ability to kind of see each one. It doesn't really allow you to flip through there, and so you kind of see just like a very very faded, burnt image of the nearby spheres, and you can definitely make out, if you can look on the screen there, you can make out various routes in between the Neros and the Toho sphere that it looks like that this Neogi Death Spider that Axum Toll helmed traveled. It looked like there was extensive travel in the dead space between the branching arms of the vortex itself into an area that Elry, as a sailor, you would know. There just north, that section of space is called the Dearth. Nobody goes there. There's literally nothing. The Phlogiston does not exist. So unless your ship can somehow propel itself, there are no cosmic winds to ride. And there are various stories of vast riches found in abandoned husks of ships, things like that, that drift too close to the edge of the Phlogiston and get kind of basically stuck in becalmed space. But it looks like this ship was making extensive forays into the Dearth, each time in a slightly different area, as each of these trips would have you see. But that info kind of is frozen on the screen. And after looking at it for a while, there's another spark and a kind of a flourish of energy. And the panel itself fritzes out, but the screen is just burned with this image, and it just stays even after the power kind of goes out, almost like just burned permanently. On the screen, you have this map of nearby space.
He'd point out the section to Hilda. No one can fly there, Captain.
Then how did they get there?
Exactly. Maybe the Rose can.
You don't exactly sail.
Maybe we should ask Ellie if he ever even been there before. Ellie has been around. How old is Ellie?
That's a good question. Are we on the ship right now? I think we are.
No.
No.
I assume you're somewhere in the fields between the Magate Acadium and the temple.
Ellery, are you able to communicate with Ellie, or are you still on the sauce?
I don't know. I could point towards the ship and try to cast message. I mean, sure, I could try to really do what I always do. If he can get the Dawn Rose in sight, he's going to flip the wire necklace up into his mouth and point towards the ship and be like, Ellie, can you hear me? Psst.
Yes, Ellery, I can hear you.
Can you see what no, you can't probably. Have you ever been out? What? Hold on, I'm on the phone.
Give her the name. It's the Dearth.
Have you ever been? It's the. Okay, it's the Dearth. Have you ever been in the Dearth?
No, I don't think so. Have we been there? I've only been where we have been.
Okay, well, that's right, because you were asleep. Oh, she was asleep, everybody. I knew that. Hey, listen, a quick question, Ellie. If you had to fly somewhere in the flow that doesn't have space winds to fly, do you think you could like you keep going?
Oh, yes, I could for some time, but I would get tired.
Could you, if you were out there, could you take a break and then like kind of get your if I would run a whole bunch and then I couldn't run anymore and I'd stop and catch my breath and I'd keep running again? Is that what it's like?
Yes. I would need to rest, and then I could go a little. I could go more. Yes.
Great, thank you. I'm going to hang up now, but it's not because I don't want to talk anymore. It's because I got to tell them everything you just told me.
Oh, okay. I miss you.
I miss you too. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Tell E I said hi.
I will. Are you still there?
Yes, you hang up first.
I don't want to. What? I want to hear you hang up first.
Click.
That wasn't a hang up. That was you saying click with your mouth.
Mm,
We gotta do it. We'll do it. We'll do it on 3 together. Okay.
Okay.
It's 1, 2, 3, and then click.
Not
all
on
right?
3.
Not on 3. No, this isn't Lethal Weapon. We do 1, 2, 3, and then we click.
Click.
And you hear a click.
Damn it. Okay.
Did she say hi to us?
She said hi to E.
God damn it. Should have hooked her up to that thing.
Yeah, she can get out there. She said she'd have to rest. Yeah. So we can go at it. But now we need to find out about the wish spell, whether or not we can bring back Ledbetter. And but the wish spell might be able to do both of those things. And then we can head out there and see if that's where he's keeping that spider bastard was keeping Dakul's mom.
Yes.
Okay. So, with that, y'all are maybe heading back to the Magate Acadium. I don't know. Maybe you're just standing there in the field. But after some time, you are approached once again by Grand Magus Monby. He is flanked by his 2 other head mages. We have decided to give the decision over to Rontame, whether it can use this spell from this book. It is quite an unprecedented event, but I would be willing to undo any damage possible that was wrought this day. Will that be to your satisfaction, Master Tossbottle?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Well, then shall we do this? And we'll figure out what happens next week here on Starward Bound. Will the wish spell work? Will it turn back time or not? If only you could. If only you could. So let's run around to cast and crew, see how they liked it, see what they didn't like, and we'll correct that for next week. But let's start like we always do in reverse order, starting with Kiana. How did you enjoy this bit of a I wanted this adventure to kind of be a breath.
Yeah, man.
Going and going.
I was expecting summer, and then I was like, wait, no, it's with this group.
Yeah, I try to fit it in as quickly as possible at the beginning.
Yeah, got all the feels in the first part, and then we get E watching their best friend and their mom figure make out, which is just, I don't know how E feels about that yet. I'm gonna process on that. There was a lot of worrying. So mine's like, I have feelings about this, but I don't know what they are yet. So, yeah, you know what? Well, we ended the episode with being drunk and doing shit. So, you know what? This was a typical episode of Starward Bound, and I could not have anything better. But yes, I am Kiana. I was your favorite murder robot, but otherwise, I am over on Twitter at KianaS. It's the best way to figure out what I am doing because I am all over the internet playing role-playing games pretty much every day of the week at this point. But I will plug 2 things. One, we have started a new game over on Greg's channel, May Black Roses Bloom. It's a Dragonlance Ravenloft-inspired game in 5e. It's super awesome. We start off with our first session tomorrow. I won't be playing, but I'll be in the chat and yelling about everything, as I do. And the second thing I will be plugging is on Saturday, I'm over on Unmade Gaming doing some Call of Cthulhu for charity. I am running my original scenario and driving my friends insane as we raise money for Extra Life for Kids. So please check us out over there. Unmade Gaming at 4 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, can't wait for next week to see what we do. Whether we'll actually get a wish spell or not, that's a terrifying amount of power for this group. I am a little afraid, but we'll see. It's always great out in space, so can't wait for it.
Most definitely. Moving on over to everyone's favorite rapscallion, Greg. How was tonight, man?
Oh man, all it took, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do with Elry, so he was quiet for a while, and then you were like, I could kill you with a word, and I'm like, he's got power enough to cast Wish, and the mind went off as Elry just grabbed that baton and ran. It's always great. I love playing with everybody. It's the very similar to Hilda's Spirit Guardians working the Forge. For me, this show is a forge of creativity, working with people like this that constantly stoke the fires and have you going in every direction and making things up as you go. It's the best part about role-playing. I absolutely love it. Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. I will mirror what Kiana said tomorrow night at 8 Eastern over on my channel. We are starting the Dragonlance campaign, May Black Roses Bloom, dungeon mastered by one, Donathan Fry. It is going to be good. It is going to be great. And I am taking a character that I dreamed of 30 years ago when Sturm Brightblade fell into a hellish landscape of Dawn's creation. It should be fun. It should be heart-wrenching. He's the opposite of Elry, but I have no less heart put into him. I cannot wait to play, but I can't wait to be back here so I get my therapy every week. Everyone, see you next Tuesday.
Absolutely beautiful. This definitely, there's nothing like group therapy, and a weekly bout of that is good for the soul. Next up, everyone's favorite monk, Trey.
Yo, another good one. And like y'all said just a second ago, this is the best form of therapy you could possibly get. I'm rolling with the dopest crew space has ever seen. I'm telling you, I mean, Spaceballs ain't got anything on us. I mean, we got shit talking and not backing it up. Mamas kissing best friends, robots all confused, sitting on the back of manta rays with all kind of madness going on. I mean, I don't know where we could possibly go. And now we could possibly, I don't know, maybe go back in time. That's just too, no man should have that much power. That's, I actually kind of feel sorry for our crew because I know we are going to find a way to fantastically fuck it up. So with that being said, you can catch me. My name is Sintel. Catch me in the Twitter sphere. And you can also catch me on Instagram at Sintel as well. Please check out my nonprofit, my nonprofit group, Lights Camera Discover, where we teach the filmmaking process to kids. Check us out at lightscameradiscover.org. I'm really looking forward to figuring out how this madness is going to unfold next week. Until then, thank you all for tuning in. And hey, yo, we hit 1,000, so we got a special surprise, huh? I'm gonna just end it with that little thought bubble right there and just fade out. Thank y'all.
Yep. Before we get to the prize at hand, let's let Emma, who is a prize of another sort. How'd you like that?
I'm surprised that was weird. Made me uncomfortable. Threw me
I
off.
was trying to have a segue.
It
doesn't always work.
It's okay.
You're not a prize. Sorry, I didn't mean to objectify you.
Oh, now I feel confused and titillated by two good friends in one game. I love this game. I missed it so much. I've been gone so much, and I am very glad to be back. It is interesting. I am especially interested in the talk of the old game, which is currently mostly of interest to me and about 5 other people, because it was our old game and you blew my fucking mind. But I am hoping that means it's going to be of ultimate significance to all of you people who are watching this show, and it's going to be awesome. I am also extra interested in the time travel because I happen to have some inside knowledge, and that inside knowledge is that Mr. Jonathan Pruitt has been rewatching Doctor Who recently, and I have a feeling that we're totally fucked. So it's going to be really interesting. I'm the communications director for WebDM. You can follow me on Twitter at Susie King, or you can follow WebDM on Twitter at WebDM Show or WebDM Entertainment on Facebook. And I hope you do. In 10 days, we're announcing something interesting and unprecedented that you'll probably be excited to hear about. So you should probably get on those social medias and hear about it. I don't have any other games that I'm currently actively playing. If you're a person who streams games on the internet and you like to do one-shots with somebody who will say yes to almost anything, please ask me to be on your show. I would love to. That's about it.
Yes, and it would be you would enjoy Emma's company. Trust me, I have gamed with her half my life, almost. So everyone's favorite prize, Grant Ellis, which trust me, he is a prize. I have had him in my bed in a hotel room. I'll just leave it at that to keep it as weird as possible.
Like
there were other people.
100th Twitch streamer that has. I mean, I'm just, and everyone's bed apparently.
I'm just another name on your list, Grant.
You know it. Another heart that was broken. All right. So, everyone, this is the 2018 episode 25 or 26. I forget. WebDM show, Starward Bound rap. It was all a dream. The dawn rose as a spell-jamming limousine. Hilda Hillgarden E404 looking mean. While the cool rocking out, smoking them trees. Gonna roll for a nit. When we swing, we're gonna crit. Even though Elray's saying weird-ass porno shit. Causing us all to completely lose it. That's when you know Kiana hits the floor. Emma fires back, then Greg fires more. Pruitt joins in, and it's time to go to war. So Trey joins the fray, swinging that hammer like Thor, yeah. Starward Bound is super like Grover, riding all over you like a Range Rover. You think this rap is through, but you know it ain't over, because WebDM show is the Twitch takeover. Woo! Woo! Little rough. Didn't get a chance to practice it, and I have something in my eye. Yeah.
It's all right.
A tear in my eye! Woo!
You're the consummate professional.
I try.
There you have it. That's the kind of fun you get when enough bits get donated, apparently. So maybe we should turn this into a weekly thing. Who knows? Maybe we'll get Kiana to rap next time. Sorry, that look was just worth it right there. Anyway, so before we get out of here, I want to give one more shout out to our sponsor, Tabletop Loot. Head on over to tabletoploot.com. WebDM15 is the code. It gets you 15% off all that dicey goodness. So please enjoy that. Also, if you liked the art here that was done by Alexa Bonner, we'll provide Twitter details in the side there. Thanks to everyone here, to the cast, crew, Grant Ellis for flipping the switches behind the scene and dropping the rhymes oh so clean. And that's as close as I'm going to get to it. But anyway, we love you out there. And as we always say, may the dice ever roll in your favor.